Hello and welcome to the Year 8 Pathways presentation. At St Paul's, we want a number of things for our young people, and this is an incredibly important time in the year for a Year 8 student. It is our ambition to equip all students with skills and qualifications so that they do have a future and they can contribute to society positively. We desperately want them to access a broad and balanced curriculum, so we will always continue to offer the arts, technology, sport and all the humanities. And last year we increased the choice and we now offer photography, fashion and textiles, digital communications and sociology. We do believe here at St Paul's, by not narrowing the curriculum, all students have a wide curriculum to choose from, giving them lots of options for their future aspirations and careers in the future. We want all students to think about their future 5 years ahead, and I know that sounds ridiculous almost, but actually we do need to work backwards. I've been in a situation where students get to post A-levels and find they can't go to the university of their choice or do the course they really wanted because they haven't chosen the right GCSEs and A-levels. I know that most young people at the age of 12 or 13 don't know what they want to do for a job, but if they have a broad idea of where their interests lie, they then work backwards. For example, a student that wants to study law would be advised to study, for example, at A-level, English, history, theology perhaps, and then going back then to GCSE, they would then be advised to study history. It's really important that we keep our options open, and students that maybe have an interest in something now at the age of 12 or 13 maybe lose interest as they get through then to A-level. So when we talk about grades, you will know now that we've moved from letter grades to number grades, and the grades for GCSE are 1 to 9. 5 is considered a good pass and 4 is considered a standard pass. Students must achieve a grade 4 in English and Maths at GCSE, otherwise they've got to keep doing them until they do pass. And that even means if they join us here at St Paul's sixth form, or they go off to another sixth form, or they go to college, and they haven't got English or Maths, they will have to keep doing them. And for post-16 providers, for example, to do A-levels here or A-levels at another school or college, it will limit your A-level subject choices if you still need to pass English and Maths. At St Paul's then, all students follow a core curriculum to start with. It is compulsory to do RE. They also do 2 Englishes, English language and English literature, GCSE Maths, Science either double or triple. Double Science is 2 GCSEs and covers all 3 sciences. If children do triple Science, it's 3 separate science qualifications, and there's an additional 1 hour a week after school in years 10 and 11 just to cover the course. They also do non-exam PE and PSHE. You'll hear in the news and media, and you may have read it, and certainly in this presentation you will read the term EBAC. So EBAC is a set of subjects that are grouped together, and some universities insist you have to have the suite of EBAC subjects. This is part of my reasoning with you, that you must look at what unis are asking for before even making GCSE choices. The suite of EBAC subjects are English, Maths, Science, either double or triple. Computer science in the EBAC is counted as a science, and you must also have geography, history and a language. So as I said, some unis say you have to have the EBAC in order to apply, and I've put a link in there about the uni guide and how to make important GCSE choices when it comes to university. It's a really important article. So I would advise, if your child has their heart set on a particular career, that you do have a look at a particular university. Please do have a look at their admissions, because it should tell you what GCSEs they need. The government EBAC target for every child in every school is 75%. That's 75%, for example, of the current Year 8 should be doing the EBAC by 2022 and 90% by 2025. If we are inspected by Ofsted, the inspectors will look at how we're working towards this EBAC target and will judge senior leaders about our ambition for EBAC. This is why in this presentation one of our pathways does include EBAC. The government's response to the EBAC confirmed that the large majority of pupils should be expected to study it. As principal here at St Paul's, it is my obligation and my duty to ensure, though, that every child has an appropriate curriculum. It would not be appropriate for me to push 75% or 90% of our students here into the EBAC. It would not be appropriate for them and does not play to their skills or their talents. We are increasing our EBAC numbers year on year. We started the drive for EBAC 2 years ago and we increased by 17% going into the current year 9. So it is our ambition to keep increasing, but there will reach a point where we feel actually every student in the school is doing an appropriate curriculum. So our pathways that we have on offer this year then. Pathway 1 is GCSE with EBAC, and this particular pathway best suits students who aspire to undertake a degree course at a university, particularly those universities who would expect students to have studied the EBAC subjects. In addition to the GCSE, EBAC students are required to take a modern foreign language. It is compulsory in this pathway to take a language. Students currently studying one language may take a second. For example, this came up last year in the Year 8 options. A child that didn't study French in Year 7 or 8, can I pick French up? The answer is yes. However, you would be expected then, in order to make up that lost ground as parents, perhaps to get them a French tutor. There's no way we're able to make up 2 years of non-French teaching in school in order for your child to take French in Year 9 if they haven't already studied it. So if you're happy with that commitment, absolutely we would allow children to pick French up. It is unusual, but we could do that. There's also a list of modern foreign languages that the government are happy to accept as a pass or as a GCSE entry, and those are languages perhaps your child studies already outside of school or because it's the home language. This list of languages appears at the end of the presentation. Students currently studying one language may study a second. They're also required to study an EBAC of either geography, history, but they may also take computer science. Students on Pathway 1 are then able to choose one other option from the remaining block. So I suppose if I were to summarise Pathway 1, it is GCSE with EBAC, and in order to take the EBAC, students only then have one other free choice. Many students in Year 8 will be happy with this pathway because they would have chosen geography, history, and maybe computer science and a language. But lots of students may, looking at the grids, decide actually it's not for them. Pathway 2 is GCSE with elements of EBAC. This pathway is suitable for students who want to study other GCSEs and EBACs, but they will not need to study a language. It is recommended that students on Pathway 2 choose either geography or history, but they are not compulsory. Pathway 2 students will be able to and will be encouraged to complete their A-levels at St Paul's and also apply to university. Pathway 2 in no way stops a student from doing A-levels or going to university. They would still have enough grades in enough subjects in order to progress. Pathway 3 is the GCSE with a Vocational Program. This pathway is suitable for students who would like the option of doing GCSEs alongside a vocational program, which means they'd study at Leicester College 1 day a week in Years 10 and 11. Students on Pathway 3 are likely to want to apply to a college to study post-16, but may also get enough grades to attend St Paul's sixth form. Pathway 3 students do not need to study a language or geography or history, but may of course do so as they wish. Prince's Trust is our work-related learning programme. This course is ideally suited for students who achieve some GCSE passes, although not necessarily at grade 5 or above. It does have a large vocational element involving working with our partners at various colleges on a Friday. This is a hugely successful course and gives students a taste of college, enabling them to progress after 16. The Prince's Trust is part of our Pathways 3 programme, and most of these students are already pre-selected, and Mr. Chapman will already have spoken to those parents. So each student gets to complete their online option form, and they do this in school with their form tutor. We've got scheduled meetings. Each student gets a meeting with their form tutor. They talk about the appropriate pathway for them, and they make their option choices online. They do this after this presentation and after you've had a chance to look at the Pathways booklet. The Pathways booklet accompanies this presentation, and students will be given it in school, and it will be emailed to you as well. The Pathways booklet gives a very comprehensive outline of each subject and a description of each of the pathways. Again, those conversations at home will be incredibly important. I'd ask you as parents to think about your students' abilities and how aspirational is the pathway chosen. We want all students to be on the appropriate pathway, and if genuinely their academic ability suits pathway 1, that's GCSE with EBAC, then we would encourage them to choose this. It's very important to us that all students are choosing the pathway most appropriate for them. As I said, when we talked about pathway 3, most of those students are already pre-selected, and it may be, parents, if you are one of those parents, that Mr. Chapman has already been in touch with you. Thank you for watching the presentation. I hope it managed to answer some questions for you. You will find the Pathways booklet the most valuable resource. It has all the information you need. But if at any point you need to come back to us with a query or a question, or points of contact are in the Pathways booklet, Mrs. Grundy, Mrs. Lockyer are leading the Pathways presentation with the current Year 8, and they'll be delighted to take any questions from you, and they'll get back to you as soon as they can. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.